games of place, but look at this. The ultimate coming in from Barrett is cancelled with the Barbiel. It looks like too easy for Lexi. Is finding himself in a good spot. Still high HP, but Han Shin might be the one though. Zoning out a place 2 members, and Jasmine still waiting for the perfect opportunity to come in. The Leomore does secure the turtle, and looks like CFU will be paying the price for it. That's too easy for Lexi. He's not gonna get the reset. Here comes the Astro's Eye with the Malefic Force. This is about to happen here. Crossbow Tang is not yet available, but here goes. It's a clutch reset, and Z has to go rough waves. It's a mega kill for Detective though, just a 1-for-1 for now, but that will quickly change as Z goes potential reset. Things are about to heat up as CFU is trying to find that perfect opportunity. Here comes the pedal dance just to make sure that he survives the CC. Hanshin will be BMIing out as too easy for Lexi. Pops his immortality. A killing spree for Detective, and this might just be a lord for CFU as long as they survive this fight. The 1-1 is trying to tighten around. Hanshin is still there. Nice BMI out. Wild Charge is not yet available. The Brock, but the Detective slays down the Lord.
I think they did manage to get it, so Lexi gonna try to get out of there, has the backup with the feathered airstrike.
Yeah, and look at those snares, and look at that Todas welcoming it back to a Wild Charge, which means Wadu gets to go in, going ham on Tammy. Flame Shot doesn't land, but here comes the crossbow of Kang. Can he actually reset? Runs away instead, too easy for Lexi tanking
to the point where he needs to. So Nightmare Esports, their draft, man, I really like it on paper. So hopefully it all works out for them.
Yeah, and Nightmare Esports, they do have a lot of magic burst damage, which worries me as well. Because one item counters that. The moment the entire squad of CFU gets the Athena's shield, it's going to be extremely hard for them to burst people down. Even the that's immediately 2 burst damage dealers on the side of Nightmare, mitigated to what, 50% damage on the feathered airstrike, and of course the rough wave as well coming in from the Kageta. So it's going to be a good time for Team Nightmare, at least in the early game. I swear to God, there's no team that buys Athena's shield first anyway, unless I am wrong. The thing is, like, Nightmare Esports, they're gonna have a good time in the early game just because nobody's building magic resist yet.
Yeah, I that's what I'm saying. Like, early game is really where they're gonna shine, and hopefully they're able to utilize all that. Still, like I said, we've seen games where on paper the team going against CFU had that nice draft, but Detective got those early kills, and then all of a sudden things just turned lopsided very quickly. So we'll see. Again, you can see the pressure that CFU is even just trying to put here on Lexi, knowing that he's playing this Barretts, but well, again, at the end of the day, it's going to come down to those decisions early game, who grabs those objectives, those first hurdles. But we already know Detective is going to be rearing to go on this Leomore pick. A lot of early poking going on here in the mid lane, though.
Yeah, and the only difference here compared to their other Leomord games is they don't have sure access until Flamesy gets that wild charge. So it's going to be harder for him to find the opportunities the same way that we talked about in the draft. He's gonna hard earn it this time around. No more 10-0 games of place. But look at this. The ultimate coming in from Barrett is cancelled with the Barbiel. It looks like too easy for Lexi. Is finding himself in a good spot. Still high HP, but Han Shin might be the one to pay the price here. First blood for the 1-1. You do not want to give that kill to that marksman.
That's huge. That's a huge pickup right there. The fact that they're able to get that first blood over to Kami, and like we were just saying, you know, this whole kind of strategy is just let Kami farm up, do his thing, but already getting that first blood, that's huge. So now you're gonna have to kind of transition to that thought too. You can see the poking potential as well for this lineup, right? Just having, again, that Farsa there, Jasmine, someone to really worry about. You can see everybody rotating down here though right now. There's the feathered airstrike.
Yep, 2 things landing on the face of Wadu has to go away. I feel like this is going to be a free turtle for the side of Nightmare Esports, unless, of course, the Leomord just tries to go in. Juviana, though, zoning out a place 2 members, and Jasmine still waiting for the perfect opportunity to come in. The Leomord does secure the turtle, and looks like CFU will be paying the price for it. It's too easy for Lexi. He's not going to get the reset. Here comes the Astro's Eye with the Malefic Force. A double dunk down for Wadu. The 2 feathered airstrike that landed on his face earlier, he sent it back with regards.
with a force, basically. I mean, that that's your moment when you're playing that Phobius and you pop that Demonic Force. You're like, this is it, you know, the slam dunks. And it's crazy too, because during all of that, Detective able to go in and get the turtle on top of it. So just a big play overall for CFU. Things are still pretty, I would say, even for now, but you know, there's going to be a lot of this poking back and forth here with the feathered airstrikes and whatnot. But again, it comes down to that technical decision here that Flamesy could be in trouble.
Yeah, Flamesy already expended everything that he has. Tried to burst down Flamesy and dies instead. I feel like that's a big miscalculation on the side of Nightmare Esports, and they might just lose the early game because the lead that they have because of that.
Yeah.
Oh, but wait a minute, the Valentina stealing away the Rough Waves, almost getting a kill. Man, I hate Rough Waves. You really just can't calculate the damage that it does to you in the early game. It just, sometimes it insta-kills you, sometimes it doesn't. That one wave, that 1 inch always makes the difference, and do not quote me on that.
Yep. And,
Yep.
you know, jumping back into the game, they're still going out in the bottom side. Juviana should be able to get away here, but Flamesy now there.
Yeah, wild charge used. Juviana trying to survive, and he goes in once again. Nice dash out there. Too easy for Lexi. Will be eating up one. Spinning him back. Wadu still alive. Not going for the left force just yet. And looks like the dinosaur goes down. His double kill goes to Z. CFU takes control of this game.
Just like that. I mean, this is what we're typically seeing. And there's the Rough Waves again. Z should be able to survive there, but he's going to get chased down by Soul. Tries to bob and weave, can't get out, dies himself, and now it's Flamesy going to be the focus, but should be fine. And Nightmare Esports able to grab themselves a kill, a big there, but Detective grabbing a turtle again here.
I think this is, what, our 4th, 5th lead shift so far within the first 5 minutes of the game. It has been really close between these teams, and it's nice to take note that they are not trying to burst down Flamesy anymore. That happened once, never gonna happen again. And so will be going back to this gold lane, trying to put pressure around the side of Hanshin. I do feel like the win condition here for Nightmare Esports is still to get Kami ahead. Will the passive go down? Thalasphobia makes him survive. He's looking for the stacks, but the Blazing Duet makes for a great defensive ability. Barbiel killed 1-1. It wasn't even the sword, it was the horse. And that's a kill going to the hands once again of CFU. 1 for the mage and 1 for the horseman.
That's gotta feel bad, you know, just getting collided with the horse going down there. And I mean, in similar fashion, Detective is starting to really kind of pop off on this Leomord. We have talked about it from draft to draft. Juviana, though, even here with Wadu, at one point, Juviana will be an integral part for this team for Nightmare Esports. If he can really fight. Okay, before that even happens, though, again, another kill to Detective.
Yeah, that was a stolen wild charge. And I feel like every time the Valentina kills people with a stolen ultimate, it's like a slap to the face. Like, I know it's unintentional, it's just how you play the hero. But at the end of the day, stealing away somebody's ultimate and then using it against him must feel good for Z here, because that's the second time that he's done that.
And that's the thing, right? And there's another kill there, Kami grabbing that one. But going back to the point, that's the thing with Z, especially getting this Valentina so often in so many of the games. He does a great job, honestly. When you have a lot of options for ultimates that you could take, he does a great job at deciding which ones to take, which ones to really follow things up and everything else. So right now, CFU, they do have a little bit of a lead in terms of kills and maybe itemization, but the gold, it's not a huge difference in terms of where that gold is what I'm talking about, especially Z running the mystery shot, but now the fight for the turtle.
Wow, Turtle already secured here by the Barretts, and the fight continues down bottom lane. They're looking for Flamesy, but looks like the fear is there. The knockup as well. Z doesn't die just yet, and I feel like NM, Nightmare, would want to just leave after securing that big objective. It looks like Jazzpin has other ideas. This is a 4v2. Might just be a big dive. Rough Wave used defensively, and they will survive that encounter.
Yeah, this is, I mean, it's kind of crazy how effective this Barretts is being, right? Even though technically he doesn't have any kills, it's not really what you draft the Barretts for. Able to really just kind of be that big roadblock literally, you know, especially when he's got all those stacks here. So that's something that CFU has to work around. They are quite mobile themselves, especially depending on where Flamesy decides to go with those wild charges. Look at Lexi though, he's just going to be marching his way up top. Feathered Airstrike going to come down. So right now, I mean, 8 minutes into the game, I'm really interested to see what happens for that first Lord fight. If everyone actually decides to participate in it, or we see some more splits.
And a slugfest is about to happen here. Crossbow Tang is not yet available, but here goes. It's a clutch reset, and Z has to go rough waves. It's a mega kill for Detective though, just a 1-for-1 for now, but that will quickly change as Z goes down. Nightmare Esports, one of them as well, is out. Soul is looking to be badly injured as Too Easy for Lexi will be taking one out, spitting him back out. Shut down for the Esmeralda. Nightmare Esports taking control of this game. Once again, the lead shifts. A 2K gold lead for the side of Night.
Yeah, man, we're like on a pendulum with the lead here, right? It's shifting back and forth, and now it's Nightmare Esports. It's a slugfest though, and I mean, that's what you expect. Also, 3 turrets for both teams down here, pretty much evening out that movement, that space that they have on the map for each other. It's just gonna, I mean, they're trying to steal the purple. I think they did manage to get it. So Lexi gonna try to get out of there, has the backup with the Feathered Airstrike.
Yeah, and look at those snares, and look at that Todas welcome, welcoming it back to a wild charge, which means Wadu gets to go in, going ham on Kami. Flame Shot doesn't land, but here comes the crossbow of Tang. Can he actually reset? Runs away instead. Too easy for Lexi, tanking down 4 members. Here comes the dunk. Slam and Jamma is real. Rock Waves goes in. Nobody dies just yet. He's looking for Juviana, but Juviana survives. The best fights there, and the Valentina takes 1. 4 people still alive for the side of Nightmare Esports, and that was just a 2-for-1 exchange in an extended team fight as Juviana tastes the tip of the sword from the Detective. Just the tips, baby, but the Lord will be secured by Nightmare Esports.
Well, they haven't gotten it yet. Are they going to be actually secure? They should. Everybody's quite low here. Flamesy, though. Z, though. So that is going to be the Lord being secured. Cammy actually getting a kill there. Not sure if that was really worth it. Flamesy probably just trying to get an eye on the Lord. But rough. I mean, it's quite the... Look at the damage, right? Already from the Feathered Airstrike there. But it's a rough situation for CFU because even as cool as that wild charge was from Flamesy, I mean, right through 4 people after the Daytona's welcome, unfortunately, when you use it in that situation, you know, you lose some of that factor to get that stun and really set your team up there. So it was very chaotic. It was kind of messy in a way. But even the fact that a big deciding factor there was Kami couldn't pop off, and now they're going to the bottom side.
That's still going at it. Kami might just pay the price, and there you
again.
go. Oh, he just baited it out. He was waiting for that last cast of the demonic force just to go for the crossbow of Tang. That already happened thrice, man. It can't happen 4 times. If it does, it might mean the game for CFU.
Man, that's exactly what I was about to say in that whole thing. I was like, you know, Kami able to survive the demonic force with the proc from the crossbow of Tang. He just did it again. And now they're assaulting the base here of CFU. Juviana, though.
Whoa! It's a 4v1! But he's gonna get stunned! That was almost a 4v1 outplay! It was the coolest thing ever until it wasn't! And now the mid lane will be the next push for Nightmare Esports. Dude, I swear, that could have been a 4v1, an actual 4v1. But a well-timed Daytona's welcome just changed it for CFU.
Maybe that's why they picked the Barretts, man. Maybe that was the plan. You know, not only objective based, but we can just gobble up the horse and Leomord. You know, we can just take it all.
And looks like they were trying to take it all, but the stun coming in from this wild charge, and Hanjin on the back line. It's a 4v2. It's already listed down. 2 kills going to the side of CFU, and finally, Winter's truncheon on Wadu means he's not gonna survive. He's finally gonna survive the crossbow of Tang. He could bait out the baited out crossbow of Tang. You know,
that's
like
a lot of
outbait
baiting,
him.
man. Yeah, I was gonna say there's a lot of baiting going on. But one item can really change the course of, you know, that strength that you have when Kami has a Swan one. So, but not only that, but still they do have to kind of worry about Jasmine. They've kind of been playing around that really well. The surprise rough waves. You can see even Jasmine trying to find any moment or any angle that he can around the map. where he thinks CFU is going to be here. But so far, so good for them. Honestly, at this point, too, Hans In is going to start hurting him, right? He's got the items he needs. We saw how effective that even Blazing Duet was earlier when Sosol tried to set up for the Feathered Airstrike earlier. So as this next Lord comes up here in just under 10 seconds, it's going to be very crucial on the way that Nightmare Esports approaches this. Despite them being up by 3k gold, they could also push in the top. It looks like they're going for that. But the wave's probably just going to be cleared by Han as he used the Blazing Duet up there on the top side.
Yeah, and it was quite the risky play as he suffered quite a bit of damage there. Ljubljana gets terrified, half HP in the Esmeralda, but the Feathered Airstrike is casted near the Lord. It's already half HP as we're looking at the CFU to secure this one. It looks like they're going to go for this RBL instead. Who's going to secure this Lord? And looks like it's going to be the Barretts with the outplay. The Refuar won by the side of Nightmare Esports as the 1-1 goes up, but looks like the Claude wants blood. Here comes the dunk coming in from Wadu. Will it be enough to get the kill on Tommy? The Feathered Airstrike. Here comes the crossbow of Tang, but he's not going to get the reset. He's going to die as well. It's a 3-4-4 right now. No, a 3-4-3. It might just be a 3-4-4 if too easy for Lexi finds out C. The heals are there. There might be an outplay bound to happen here, but the gas, it's too hot. It's a shutdown for the Farsa instead, plus the Lord for the side of Nightmare Esports.
Want to go in the bush? That's okay. I'll just make it on fire. You know, it's hot lava in there, basically. Burn the bush down. But still, I mean, between the two teams, even with that Lord fight, very back and forth, just back and forth between even the two junglers here, but Lexi able to secure that Lord for them. So this should convert into possibly an inhibitor turret in the bottom side and maybe even one more. The thing is, too, that really turned the tide of that fight is Han used his Blazing Duet up top to clear that wave where the pressure was before the Lord fight happened. So now the focus here on the bottom side from CFU and NM. Can they defend this one?
Nightmare Esports about to push down the bottom lane and mid lane as well. Great lane management. Rough Wave is there. 1-1 trying to look for the reset, but looks like he haven't found it yet as the dunks go in. Still just one casualty and it's only Jasmine. The crossbow of Tank can't reset. A double kill for Detective as he goes down to Feathered Airstrike. Here comes C. Forces the Winter Scruncheon out there. He still survives if Barretts does bite him down or lick him down, whatever you want. It's a 3v3 right now, and looks like they will end that push after that fight.
Man, I mean, Detective finding kills here where he can, but unfortunately, you even saw it there, the kiting potential. Sosol was almost, I mean, he almost went down, but unfortunately for Flamesy, he didn't have the wild charge, and now he's going to be taking quite a bit of damage from that Feathered Airstrike top side. So it's a tough situation for CFU. Big item pickup from Han, though. He is able to lock in that Wind of Nature, which will help him, but still, even when he gets the Blazing Duet off, for some reason, people just are not falling down from Nightmare Esports here. So they're doing a great job at just kind of soaking up a lot of that damage. Jasmine said it time and time again that whenever that Kadita is there, causing havoc on just being that nuisance, and here Flames are going to be the focus.
And the first down happens. Winter Scruncheon is forced out, and oh no! The 1-1 gets baited out, and that's two people down on the side of Nightmare Esports. The Winter Scruncheon play, baiting out the 1-1 and the Kadita, and this is trouble for Nightmare Esports. The Lord might just be free for CFU just because of an aggressive play gone wrong, gone viral on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook.
Man, I love it. And now at this point, I mean, the back and forth between both these teams, they're still going to have to work for this Lord, I feel like, because Sosol is there. You can see Juviana too, who's going to be able to grab this one. Detective still working on it, does have that retribution, and there you go.
Oh no, another Detona's welcome, but before he even was able to eat anybody up, he was guaranteed the death. It was a 5v1, so it was a make it or break it type of retribution. Wait, he did get it. He got the he retributioned in a 5v1.
He actually got it off.
He actually got it off.
I thought Detective had it. I guess got out retribution there.
Now I understand. He used the Daytona's welcome to not get stunned. The CC immunity allowed him to do the retribution steal. What an insane play, may it be low-key. Nightmare Esports getting a little bit of breathing room, and again, there might just be a shift in terms of gold here. This was a 3k gold lead on the side of CFU, and now it's less than 200.
We were wondering about the Barrett pick, and now we find out that it's just big brain play coming out from Lexi, right? Big brain play.
I didn't even think about that. You know what? The next time I play Barretts and I want to steal the Lord, I literally sit there and ult.
You just sit there,
That's
ult,
how you do it.
you wait for the retrieve. I mean, it worked, right? It
worked.
Ultimately, it bought them enough time here to get themselves back in the game because, again, before all that took place, 2 members of Nightmare Esports were down. So CFU still, like I said, had their work cut out for them, and unfortunately for them, they got out-retreat from Nightmare Esports. So similar fashion, I think both teams are still going to be looking for a pick-off where they can find it. Some of those immortalities are going to be coming online and looking to make a difference in some of these fights too. Even before, we saw Flamesy using that Winter Tranchant really to survive that, what Kami threw at him with that crossbow of Tang. So still, a lot of these minor things are going to be making a big shift in the game. As the Lord, though, it's still a minute away, so we're going to see them just kind of sticking together at this point. Meanwhile, even Jasmine just being very patient there on the bottom side.
And now Nightmare Esports, they gotta think twice before they actually go for big plays, such as the one that gave CFU the lead in the first place. Now that they reclaimed the lead, again, another lead shift, it's already the nth time that this pendulum swung to the other side. And this is a massive pickup for Kami. A little bit of critical goes a long way for 1-1-1, considering that once you ultimate, that's a lot of auto attacks, and even if it's just 25% crit chance, there is a big chance that most of those would crit up and add up to that reset damage. And so far, Dubiana's just buying time, maybe paying his life for that, and Z would even try to find Han Shin, and Han Shin will be going down. Looks like it's a 1-for-1 for now. Dubiana is the one to die for the side of Nightmare.
I think that's worth it though for Nightmare Esports because you take out Han Shin. He doesn't have the Blazing Duet now. Lord is just about to come up, so that's a crucial ultimate that could turn the tide of a fight. Whereas Juviana is just kind of, the job there is to just be in people's faces and slow them down. So you can already see the pressure from Nightmare Esports onto this Lord here. It might be better if CFU just gives this one away, but Detective making his way up as well. Let's see if they give this one a go here.
This is an evolved Lord. Giving this away will be detrimental to what they want to do. But looks like Detective, here comes the crossbow of Tang. Detective goes down, and the Lord is also going to the hands of Nightmare Esports. The reset is already done, but Immortality is bought while he was trying to survive. The Immortality still there. Too easy for Lexi, spits Wadu out, but here comes the Duncan. Here comes the Kaiden. Can Kami outplay this? And maybe he will. Maybe he's too fast. And now Wadu got baited to his death. Nightmare Esports with the outplay. Z and Flamesy has to run away now. Too easy for Lexi. It's too tanky to take Z inside that purple pit. And they are going to push this Lord in the mid lane. Currently, it is a 3v4, and this might just be a big push unless they decide to go for other lanes first. Feathered Airstrike is burned. Flamesy almost goes down. Here comes the stolen Feathered Airstrike and a Winter's Truncheon to bait it out. What are all these Winter's Truncheon? Again, it's Christmas, but everybody's buying it, even the fighters.
Oh man, this again, it's these small decisions from each of these teams that are really turning the tide here. The fact that even before that Lord fight was taken, the Detective trying to get that retribution off, Bakami holding on to that crossbow of Tang, turning the tide, and now they're pushing it in here.
Yeah, Rocket Expert pushing Flamesy back. A little bit of damage on Juviana, and they actually go in. Hanshin with a VMI, Wild Charge to buy a little bit of time, and the 1-1 goes down. This is crucial to CFU as they take down 2 crucial targets. That's the jungler and the gold laner, as they're looking for Jasmine as well. It's a 1v1 in the mid lane. It's Juviana versus Slayer Mord, but I feel like Juviana can't survive this. The crit damage coming in from the Slayer Mord. He has to run away. The ultimate not yet up, but looks like Detective doesn't think it's worth it anymore inside their own jungle.
Man, this whole game has been topsy-turvy.
True.
A pendulum back and forth between both of these teams, and now it's CFU that is going to be marching down the mid for now while, you know, Nightmare Esports are waiting for 3 members to come up here. Luckily, they do have the Feathered Airstrike, but is it going to be enough?
It might be just enough to defend a little bit. They're still waiting for 3 members. There is a massive push coming in from CFU. Nightmare Esports get to take a win in this round robin. They're desperate to secure a point here. 15 seconds on Jasmine. They just have to stall this out a little bit further. But maybe CFU, they don't want to they don't want to force to end the game just yet. They're gonna look for this Lord. It's a 23-minute Lord, one of the strongest versions of what a Lord can do.
Yeah, it's also just going to be a risk in itself, you know, being the team that juggles that Lord around, that gets in that dance and is taking those swings. You can see some item juggling happening here from both sides, and at the same time, the crucial thing here is Han cannot get picked off, and you can see that that's what Jasmine's trying to do. They do get that flicker out from Flamesy, so already small little decisions here coming into play as that now the Lord has spawned, and it looks like CFU is going to go ahead and give this one a go, but you can see already, right, the poking alone from the Lord is something they have to really consider here. Jasmine still on the bottom side though, Juviana providing a vision, here they go.
Detective low in HP, that's 2 Feathered Airstrikes down, but looks like the backline is infiltrated by Han Shin. The 1-1 is there as well, but Soso looks to be in trouble. Who will secure this Lord? That's Juviana down. Nice wild charge coming in from Flamesy. Too easy for Lexi. He's gonna secure the Lord for Nightmare Esports. They're gonna back off. It's a 2-for-1, and yes, they paid the price of they paid the price of 3, but they did get the Lord.
Man, honestly, that was a great play from Lexi. I mean, he knew that he had that health advantage. He knew that he could just kind of sit there. Detective was fighting for his life there, and he actually managed to get a little bit of HP back because he had the killing spree proc, but still, unfortunately for him, he gets out-retried by Lexi again. And it's a tough match for him trying to get those objectives, because even if you get 3 of those members down of Nightmare Esports, by the time they handle these waves, by the time they get this Lord taken out here, everyone's going to be rearing ready to go again. So you're going to be back at that, the drawing board, basically. I mean, all the teams are pretty much just juggling the items, juggling the potions here and there, and really just looking for that advantage that they can find. Z did a great job, by the way, at just getting on the backside of Nightmare Esports, even taking out some of the members like So when the Feathered Airstrike came out. But still, Han, he's having a hard time really trying to utilize that Blazing Duet the way that he wants to provide that damage there, because the work is definitely cut out for him, especially when you have someone so tanky and just able to soak up a lot of damage like Lexi and like Juviana.
Flicker is burnt as well as the wild charge. Feathered Airstrike used here in the mid lane. Now I'd like to go back on that thought that there's so many tanky members, deceptively tanky as well on the side of Nightmare Esports, that the Blazing Duet doesn't really do much apart from targeting squishy targets such as Cammy and Soul. And you gotta stay alert on your vitals as well, because the way that you're sprinting around with your Blazing Duet might be the perfect angle for the 1-1 to fly up as well. So it's always gonna be a lot of micro game for these gold laners. As we enter the 26-minute mark, I believe our longest game so far in top clans is around the 30-minute mark. So if we go past through that, this is a new record for the winter split as we head on towards the later stage of the game. This is already all mechanics, Naisu. One team fight, the death timers is so long, one pickoff could change this all.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? At this point in the game, I think, if I remember, it was like 31 minutes or something like that, our longest game so far. And like you mentioned, every single death really matters here because the timers are going to be so long. We got about 30 seconds for that next Lord to come up. And the person that can really be that thorn in CFU's side is Jasmine. If he's able to just burst someone down right away, get that numbers advantage, that leads to a Lord for them, and then they push into an already open base of CFU. The same can happen for CFU, though, if they can find a pick here. Now, the question is, who is it going to be? Your best target is actually So if you can find him, because Jasmine can get away for the most part. Lexi's just going to take a bunch of damage. But even Juviana here, right? Very tanky, sustainable himself. So now that the Lord's up, both teams have those decisions to make. You can see everybody making their way here to the Lord pit.
Juviana's already suffering a lot. He can't regen. He doesn't have the Guardian's Helm, similar to Too Easy for Lexi. He has to go back to the base, but looks like Jaspin will be the first one to go down. This is bad news for Nightmare Esports. They're already playing in a 4v5. The 1-1 trying to regen a little bit of his health via lifesteal, but looks like he will find the place of the Grok near that lane. The Lord will still be started here by Nightmare Esports, though. Feathered Airstrike landing on 2, a shutdown on Wadu. This is going to be an equalized fight from here on out. It's a 4v4 for this Lord. 28 minutes in, the 1-1 nowhere to be seen near this fight as he goes back, trying to kite around, looking for that potential reset. Things are about to heat up as CFU is trying to find that perfect opportunity. Here comes the pedal dance just to make sure that he survives the CC. Hanshin will be BMIing out as Too Easy for Lexi pops his immortality. A killing spree for Detective, and this might just be a Lord for CFU as long as they survive this fight. The 1-1 is trying to kite around. Hanshin is still there. Nice BMI out. Wild Charge is not yet available. The Brock, but the Detective slays down the Lord, and looks like the call for now is to continue this fight, but the 1-1 might just get the reset. See, Cockbolt Dang, that's on 1, but the movement speed from the sprint saves himself, and the base will be defended by a lot of Mega Minions as the Lord marches down the mid lane. Feathered Airstrike, that's one down again. Looks like CFU, they do secure the Lord, but they lose the fight.
My goodness. The pendulum continues to swing, basically back and forth. Both teams nearing 100,000 gold. You can see even midst the team fights, the items just going in and out. Juviana though. Oh,
Juviana, that quite unfortunate. that could have been a, you know what? That they could have turned that around if Juviana were alive, and it would take 30 seconds before Z and Hanshin to. Could have been a push. But you know, that just equalizes it further. It's already confirmed, Naisu. I don't think this game would end for the next 3 minutes. Everybody's gonna wait for that Lord. We're gonna wait another 2 minutes for that Lord to end. We're gonna have our longest game so far for Top Clans 2022 Winter Invitational. And that's 2 for 2 for you, Naisu. You've casted the other longest game.
I'm half expecting for the grand finals to go 7 games, all 30 minutes each. Maybe we get to that point.
If we get to that point, it's going to be extremely tiring, not just for people working, but also these players, especially these players, you know? Because I feel like the last day of Top Clans is actually both the semifinals and the finals. So
yeah, it's a best of 5, best of 7.
Yeah, imagine playing 5 games in the lower bracket and inviting 7 games. Well, to be fair, Game Lab just did that in a local tournament. It is
an endurance test. Oh, they're going here on the top side.
And it looks like the stun won't land. Kami looking for the reset. Winter's Truncheon will be used. He won't be able to reset to the next target, but he's going to get terrified and bursted down by the Feathered Airstrike, stolen away from Soso. And that's a massive pickup coming in from both Jaspin and Z. As Z goes down, it's now a 2v3. A lot of pickups left and right. Death timers more than a minute now, and Jaspin has to run away. They're looking for the Grok, and Flamesy might just go down, and finally he does. Wadu is the only guy left defending his base. Naisu, this might just be game. 50 seconds for the rest of the squad of CFU as Wadu is searching for a miracle. Malefic Force won't be even used as he flies away. A killing spree, a wipeout, call it game. Nightmare Esports finally secures their first point in the round robin stage.
Let him march in here.
Marching in.
I don't even want to say just like that, man. That was
just like that.
It was a bloodbath.
Victory!
It was such a bloodbath, and honestly, quite the long game. It's something that the longest game in Top Clans so far. So that was quite interesting to see. And what a game coming in from Nightmare. I guess it's only Burmese Schools that doesn't have a point anymore.
Hey, I mean, they wanted to work for that first point. It's crucial. I know, we're at this point. That was our 6th game, if I remember right, and they needed the point, right? And CFU was definitely it could have been their game, but honestly, Nightmare Esports just did what they had to do, especially with Kami being able to get a lot of these kills on this 1-1. Lexi, Lord after Lord, able to secure it with that Barrett's pick. And even Sosol, man, I feel like Sosol's feathered airstrikes were just on point the entire time. It's kind of insane as how much kind of literally covering fire, artillery fire he provided for the team, even for escapes or just starting that burst damage for it to be followed up from even Jasmine, right? So this was a very magic heavy team composition that ended up working really well for them. And over the long run, it was also just very difficult for Hanzin to actually utilize the Claw the way that he wanted to. Detective had a decent game on the Leomord, which was expected, right? We kind of expect that, and even Z on the Valentina, but still at the end of the day, it was the micro coming out from Nightmare Esports that kind of gave them this win here for the game.
Yeah, it's just so interesting to see them. I'm not sure if they built those items during the game or maybe during the later parts of the game where they just wanted to push. But I love the in-game adjustments in terms of the shop mechanics where you change your weapons or you change your items